if we don't have urgency and ambition in addressing the climate crisis, there is no amount of money that we can get that will ever allow us to deal with the loss of a country. So when there are countries, there are islands in the Bahamas that disappear as a result of a 1 meter sea level rise, when there are islands in the Pacific like Cari-Bois or the Marshall Islands that disappear as a result of a 1 meter sea level rise, there's no amount of money you could give to people to compensate them for that. You know, when people lose their homeland and their places where their grandparents and great-grandparents live because it's no longer livable, because maybe a storm has devastated it, land slippage has caused that land to be no longer usable, sea level rise has caused the soils to not function anymore because they're so saline, you can't compensate somebody for that. The only way you could address that is by having ambitious action to reduce and mitigate the damage. So the other thing that we need is ambitious action and urgent action from the international community.
The discussion here has been on 30 by 30. That discussion has to continue until 2030. So I think a big part of it is how we can figure out how we work together to make that a reality in the RedLAC community. We've had really good discussions as well as how we represent conservation trust funds and the major role they can play in conservation in each of our countries across Latin America and the Caribbean, and how we make that representation to policy documents and to governments so that we can move forward together in a bigger manner than we are now.
I think that events like this are critical because it brings together a network of experts, resources to amplify our voice. Working together as a region, Latin America and the Caribbean, we can look at more innovative solutions to help us reach the 30 by 30 goal. We don't have a lot of time, so we're only going to get to this goal by having partnerships. So when you have a network like this that's working together, that understands the common goal, but also realizes each other's strengths, is the way we're going to get forward.
I think we have to work as a very big community. There is no time to be pessimistic. We have to work together. This is the most important Congress about the finance of conservation in the hemisphere.
There is common understanding among us of what we want to achieve, where we want to go. How we get there is essentially what RedLAC is about. It's really the opportunity to explore the partnerships in ways that are more strategic and impactful. And so when we understand each other's perspectives, when we understand the resources that are available to us, when we understand how we can develop roadmaps collectively, then it makes for a better strategic approach to achieving those targets.
One of our main focus would be on communication and visibility, because we understand that yes, while you may be making waves within your local space, you need to get the word out there so that you can be recognized, in the sense that there are donors out there who are willing to give, but they don't know you exist within that space. So we intend to focus a lot on communication.
But you need to walk away from this Congress with determination and also the hope that we can really use the next few years to work together better, because this is all about collaboration. We realize conservation trust funds alone cannot do it. We have to have our private sector involved. We need our governments to pay attention and really try to avoid a duplication of effort, because there's a tendency that you mean well, but you just stay still. You stand still with more and more organizations wanting to assist, but perhaps the focus needs to be on progress. How quickly can we move together? Can we trust each other? Do we realize that we all have a role to play? And how can we shift the needle?